The Wizards season is finally over.
Welcome back to DMVSportsZone.
Chased down by Beal in the corner for three, gets fouled and hits.
Welcome to DC.
Well, they tag him out.
You know where you're at, the USA Cup. You're taking it slightly, I'm taking it slightly. Now how you gon' act on you gon' be right back. Well, we gon' be right here, we gon' be right here. We ain't going nowhere. Welcome to DC. DC, the home of Chuck Brown. Oh, you don't know the sound? Well, let me break it down.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Abdullah coming at you with another video for the channel. Welcome back to DMV Sports Zone. And in today, guys, I'm coming at you with the recap video for our beloved Washington Wizards. Before I get into this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more DMV Sports content. Now let's get straight to the video. What a roller coaster of a season it was for the Wizards. From the 10-3 start and being first in the Eastern Conference to finishing 35-47 with the 12th seed in the Eastern Conference. Really disappointing season for the Wizards. As I said in the preview video, I had us going 40-42 with the 9th seed and fighting for a play-in spot. And obviously I was wrong. A lot of stuff did not go the way we wanted. Starting off with Brad, went out in the middle of the season, needed surgery. And that was really disappointing to see. I really thought Bradley Beal could definitely average 30 this year, but it was up and down. And Wes Unseld Jr., if I gave him a grade for his first year as head coach, it's a C-. It was really disappointing to see the drop-off. We were frauds. It was sad, and I don't know, like, we traded for these guys, we signed these guys, ended up trading them in the middle of the season. We brought him in to be a defensive-minded head coach, and we ended up 25th out of 30 teams in the NBA in defensive rating. That is not good, guys. That is not good whatsoever. In Denver, he transformed that team into being more defensive-minded, and I think they finished top 10 when all said and done. And I understand we don't have those type of players, but at the end of the day, we brought him in for that particular reason. And if we can't be that defensive team that we wanted to be and potentially could be, then what's the point? With that being said, it was hard to see guys like Christian Wood have 8 3-pointers a night against us and Josh Hart drop 40 on us. Like, for the Wizards, it was always not a surprise to see a random just go off on us because we're the Washington Wizards and, you know, we just don't play defense. At the end of the day, if we can't play defense, what's the point? This Eastern Conference is getting a lot better with Boston, Toronto, Milwaukee, Chicago, Cleveland, Atlanta, a young Charlotte Hornets team. Even the Knicks, if they fix some things up in this offseason. The Eastern Conference is just getting tougher. It's not as weak as it was a couple years ago. So if we want to compete, Wizards just got to figure things out. And it all starts from the head coaching position. Well, let's talk about more in the front office. General Manager Tommy Shepard had a press conference not too long ago, and he talked about finding a point guard this offseason. It's obviously the elephant in the room. We got to find our QB. And Chris Miller, a Wizards insider, had some targets, and I think these are pretty unrealistic. Markelle Fultz from the Orlando Magic is pretty young. DeJounte Murray, a stud, but we definitely have to give up a lot. Malcolm Brogdon, UVA kid, pretty good. I like him as well. John Wall, that's out of the question. I don't think John Wall's coming here. Those years are gone. We just have to move past him. And Bleacher Report had this ridiculous trade package. We'd rather trade Rui Hachimura, Kristaps Porzingis for John Wall and a 2023 first-round pick. Whoever made that should be fired. That trade proposal was terrible. But let's move on from that. Realistically, out of those three, I love DeJounte Murray. Obviously, I want him first, but we're going to have to definitely trade a lot to get him. Markelle Fultz is young. I like young, man. We need some young point guards here, man. And Malcolm Brogdon is not bad as well. But a pass-first point guard is something that we need. Obviously, Thomas Satoransky, he played better the second half of the season when he was on the team, but I don't see him more than coming off the bench as a point guard. One thing that is also intriguing is that we're not going to have a great lottery pick, which again is what I always say when it comes to Wizards. They're not terrible enough to have a top 4 pick, but they're not great enough to compete, which is so annoying because I didn't understand why we were trying to win games at the second half of the season. Like, what's the point? We're falling off as a team. Bradley Beal was out. We traded Spencer Dinwiddie. Going back to the pass first point guard, we thought we had that in Spencer Dinwiddie. Brad wanted him. Tommy Shepard wanted him. And obviously now he's hooping in Dallas. But we got KP. And we got some other young guys. So finding the point guard is the number one thing that we have to do this offseason, whether it's from the draft or in free agency. It's just disappointing. The injuries that we have this season, not just Brad, but Rui was out for a good part of the beginning of the season. He was dealing with stuff personal stuff. But it was nice to see Deni Avdija play 82 games after coming off a gruesome injury his rookie year. I feel like Deni could make a big leap his third year. I just feel like if he just becomes a better ball handler and a better playmaker, I feel like he can improve that shot as well. Potentially could be a starting point guard, but I don't see that. I love seeing him at the forward position. Just his isolation game definitely is nice, and it was just nice to see him handle the ball and just running the floor. Which is what we saw. We thought we were going to get out of him when we drafted him. Obviously, a lot of people are calling him a bust. I still think it's too soon. People were comparing him to Luka Doncic when we drafted him. Again, not every guy from Europe is Luka. Like, it's dumb. I know Luka is this great basketball player, but at the end of the day, not everyone's Luka. So we got to move on past that. But going back to Wes Unseld Jr. in the C- grade, it was just the rotations and the adjustments. It was really, it was frustrating. You know, again, first half of the season, or even like the first quarter of the season, 10-3, first in the Eastern Conference. Kyle Kuzma was hitting game winners. We were playing as a team. Like, I don't even know. Like, it took such a long time for Daniel Gafford and KP to be on the floor at the same time. I don't understand Wes Unseld's intentions at times. It was completely frustrating. And I still have hope in him to be the guy, the head coach in DC, to take us to the playoffs and maybe win a series or two. But for now, it wasn't looking good if we reflected off his past season. Talking about Rui Hachimura, he did improve his three-point shot. I don't know the stats, but he was shooting great from three. It was nice to see him back in the DC uniform. Obviously, I was a little bit worried because he wasn't playing for a good amount at the beginning of the season. But he came up and was hooping. Rui and Deni, I feel like, I'm not saying they're the next Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, a next good young duo in the NBA. Maybe it'll take a couple years, but give it time. A lot of people are calling them busts, but again, just give it time, man. We're a young team. I know people. It's hard to think of the Wizards as a young team when not too long ago we had John Wall, Bradley Beal, Marcin Gortat, Paul Pierce, Nene, Trevor Ariza, all these guys who were taking us to the first round and second round, and potentially could have went to the Eastern Conference Finals, but stuff happened along the way. We just have to go back to reality and realize that we're a young team and it's going to take time. And Tommy Shepard thinks that we should rebuild around Bradley Beal and that he will be back this offseason, as there are 252 million reasons why Brad wants to be back in DC. I just don't think he's worth the Supermax. Straight up, I just don't. So it'll be interesting to see what do teams do, how do they pitch to him, like teams like Miami, like Dallas Mavericks. These teams that definitely need Bradley Beal, because I firmly believe, and I love Brad, I love him so much, one of my favorite players in the NBA. I don't think he can be a first option on a championship team. And that's the reality situation. And if you're not a first option on the championship team, you don't deserve a Supermax. I think Brad's going to stay. He's going to stay for the money. Obviously, he still put up the numbers, but are we going to win? Probably not. We have the 10th pick this offseason, or we're projected to have the 10th pick. I don't think we're going to have anything higher than that. What can we do, man? The Wizards better do something this offseason. They need to shape things up for sure, whether that's trading for someone that's good on the defense side of the ball, a good wing. We have shooters. I mean, Corey Kispert, my boy Corey. I know people are disappointed in how he didn't shoot well in the first half of the season, but I think the second half of the season, he had some sparks, showed some potential, a lot of upside. I think he had a couple of games where he dropped 20 and more. I'm telling you, when he has the confidence to shoot, he can shoot the lights out of the gym. So that was pretty nice to see. But July 1st, we're going to find out if Bradley Beal's going to stay in Washington, is going to take that contract. But that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the Wizards. What do you think they should do this offseason with the 10th pick? Who do you think they should go after in free agency? Should Brad stay? Should we trade package him? I don't know, but it was a disappointing season. I know I was so frustrated seeing us go from the 1st seed to the 12th seed. But hey, we got to move on. We're still a young team. We have to remember. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, more DMV Sports content. Follow us on our social medias, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at DMVSportsZone. And more content to come. All right, guys. Peace.